Thank you, Honorable the President. The next will be Honorable Ms. Kathy Labaskachny. Ms. Labaskachny.
Thank you very much, Chair. I can't help to comment that I find very ironic that the men is laughing about the woman being empowerment, but maybe as it is. Honorable President, given the fact that inflation is has a disappropriated impact on the lower income households of South Africa, where we as South Africa has more than 40% of our mothers are single parents. Will you advance economic empowerment of women in our country by scrapping VAT on the food items most purchased by the poorest households in reviewing and expanding the zero-rated food basket?
Thank you, Honorable Labaskachny. Honorable the President.
Yes, as you might well know, VAT exemption has been applied on a number of items that are also bought most by people at the lower level of income. This is a matter that continues to occupy the planning, the policy within our treasury as we continue to look at this matter. So in terms of dealing with the very negative effects of inflation, particularly on the poor, this indeed is a matter that continues to occupy our thinking, and clearly it also involves how one balances everything, because if you do it on one item, the question then arises, why not on the other item, and so forth. So what I can say to you, this is a matter that continues to occupy our thinking and our planning within the treasury circles as well as in government, to alleviate the negative impacts that the cost of living is having on our people generally. So we are sensitive to this, and we apply our minds on a continuous basis. Thank you, Honorable Deputy Chair.
Thank you, Honorable the President. The last follow-up on this question will be from Honorable Ms. N. Inkosi.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Chair. Greetings to our Honorable President. Mr. President, the lack of access to business finance for women, particularly African women living in the townships and rural areas, is one of the biggest impediments to their economic empowerment. Honorable President, what progress is the government making in engaging all sectors of society to expand access to financing opportunities for women, particularly those living in the townships and rural areas? And Mongameli siyakuzwa ukuthi kunegxathu enilithathile ukuthi nibasize omama niba empowerishe. Siyabonga kakhulu ukuzinikela kwakho nanokuthi uthathe abomama very serious ubenze i-priority. Keep up the good work that you are doing. Siyabonga.
Asibonge. Nkosi, over to you, Honorable the President.
The issue of ensuring that the women of our country are empowered, as you correctly say, is a very important one. And the focus is now becoming much more in areas where women can be empowered, in businesses, in the townships, in trading, in starting their own businesses, but also in access to finance. Because many would-be women entrepreneurs and business people always find that there are many challenges and impediments, particularly to get finance and get opportunities. And it is in this regard that we want to empower them. Ukuthi omama bethu bakwazi ukuthi ngempela bahlale beyazi ukuthi uhulumeni uyabasupporta ngendlela zonke. And this is something that we are insisting on, and through this bill that we are going to pass, it's going to cascade from national to provincial and to local level. And it is going to keep government officials on their toes to know that whenever there are procurement opportunities, business opportunities, we need to support the women of our country, as well as, if you like, initiatives, economic initiatives. The women must be at the forefront. And that is why we are now training women entrepreneurs in the numbers that I alluded to, but we want to train more and more. Ukuthi babe baningi abazokwazi ukuthi bangene kusomabhizinisi, babe ngosomabhizinisi ngokwabo bazimele. And we have found that when women run businesses, they are much more focused. They are also, if they're given opportunities, they become very successful. And it's a source of pride, and must be a source of pride for us as a nation, to see women succeeding in businesses and in serious businesses. Asifuna ukuthi baphelele lapha eitradeni, bathengisa amagwinya kuphela, bathengisa ama-vegetables, sifuna ukuthi bakhule ama-business wabo, abe ama-business serious, amakhulu, babonakala ukuthi omama ngempela they are succeeding in running their businesses. Now, this is a commitment that we have, and we want to see this fulfilled. Sizokwenza.
Thank you so much, Honorable the President. We will continue, and you will now respond to question number 10, asked by the Honorable N.M. Hadebe.
Okay, question number 10. The granting of a postponement for Kusile Power Station to operate without sulfur dioxide pollution control technology was necessary as a temporary measure to enable the return to service of the 3 units that were damaged in October last year. This is critical to our efforts to reduce the intensity and the frequency of load shedding as a matter of great priority. Now, the granting of this postponement does not deviate from our country's firm affirmation to contribute to the global climate change efforts in reducing greenhouse gases. As a country, we are committed to a just transition to a low carbon economy at a pace and at a scale that is affordable to us. The UN Framework Convention on Climate Change recognizes this need for a just transition and has allowed countries to nationally determine their contribution to a global effort to decarbonization. Now, South Africa committed its nationally determined contribution to the United Nations in 2021. And as I have indicated previously, we remain fully committed to achieving our target for emission reduction. Data from our recent greenhouse gas inventory indicates that we are on track to do so. As part of the granting of the once-off postponement, Eskom must undertake measures to mitigate against the exposure of its employees, as well as our people who live in the surrounding areas of their power stations, to harmful emissions. These measures must, at a minimum, include independent health screenings and referral to appropriate public health facilities for treatment where necessary. The end of load shedding and the achievement of energy security for all South Africans is not incompatible with the pursuit of our emission reduction goals. In fact, the massive investment that is currently underway in renewable energy resources, alongside the stabilization and the improvement of our existing generation fleet, will in the end help us to achieve both of these goals simultaneously. We are committed to lowering our carbon footprint, and we will do so at a pace and at a time that is suitable to the conditions that we live under in our own country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable the President. Any follow-up, Honorable Adebe?
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Chairperson. Your Excellency, Mr. President, it is agreed that a balancing act needs to be found in order to meet global objectives of climate change, whilst ensuring that we have sufficient electricity supply. I would like to know, Your Excellency, what progress has government made in investigating the feasibility of nuclear energy to supplement the ever-growing grid demands of South Africa? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Adebe. Honorable the President.
As we have said in the past, our energy is based on a mixed energy type of approach, where we will source energy from a variety of sources. And the simple answer to what you are saying is that nuclear is not excluded from the source of energy platforms that we could opt for. And as it is now, you know that we have nuclear energy that generates quite a handsome number of megawatts for us as a country. And therefore, as we prepare our next IRP, nuclear is going to be one of those that is going to be considered for the generation of energy going forward. Thank you, Honorable Deputy Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable the President. The next follow-up is from Honorable Bibi.
Ngibonge Sekela Sihlalo ngokuthi ungineze leli thuba ebese ngibingelela umongameli wethu ohloniphekileyo baba sawubona.
Ngiyabonga mama.
Yebo. Umongameli ohloniphekileyo ngifisa ukwazi ukuthi ingabe uEskom lo usethumele yini imbiko ephelele ecacisayo ngalo moya oyicarbon okuwona obulala umnotho wethu. Mr. President Baba, has Eskom submitted the detailed plan that outlines its mitigation and control measures that are geared towards mitigating in the medium term to ensure that it reduces its carbon emission in line with our nationally determined contribution, as this would negatively impact our economy if implemented in the short term? Ngiyabonga baba.
Thank you, Honorable Bibi. Honorable the President.
Ngiyabonga mama. uEskom uyena owazi kahle ukuthi isimo se-carbon footprint yethu sime njani. Largely because Eskom has for the longest time been the only generator of energy in our country. Now, of late, we are bringing in other generators who are coming through with renewable energy technologies, and Eskom is alive and aware of what the fossil fuels are doing to our country and how we can begin to migrate to cleaner energy. Now, we are all aware of what we have determined. We have set out our own nationally determined ambitions, and our ambitions are quite aggressive. But at the same time, we've been very clear in saying we will be able to do so at a time and at a place that is well attuned with our own circumstances. And Eskom, no doubt, is part of that whole plan. And Eskom is one of those entities that, yes, is aware and alive to the fact that we have, yes, to migrate. And much as we are running a fleet of fossil fuel energy generators now, we know that some of those power stations, life is going to come to an end. And as that comes to an end, Eskom knows too that it too has to start migrating. And we have said that Eskom must develop a very clear plan and strategy of how it can manage its own migration in as far as renewable energy is concerned. So it is a well thought out, progressive situation as we move forward. U-Eskom akavalanga amehlo, uyazi ukuthi sifana ukuthi siye kuphi, ufuna nje ukuthi simnike isikhathi nespace sokuthi akwazi afike lapho mama ngiphelela lapho.